This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child and my player 2 for this movie review, Johnny Karlic.
High five.
I don't do that. Wow. Give me that bag. I gotta redeem myself, people. That was a terrible... I flipped. Did it go in between the table?
I think you did.
It went in between the table?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm a failure. So
Full out.
pulling back the curtain a little bit, we had recorded the first one, and I had that idea from the movie, and I failed. Just epic fail on that one. But welcome to our movie review of Ready Player One. Ricky Widmer, Johnny Karlic here. And if you're new to a review from us, how it works before I get into the housekeeping is basically we start in a non-spoiler fashion. We'll talk about Ready Player One. Then we will warn you, jump into spoiler mode, spoil the shit out of the whole thing. Then at the very end, we will give our show stealer, which is our MVP for Ready Player One, and then our rating out of 5 Iron Giants.
Yeah.
5 Iron
I'm
Giants, 5 X1 suits, 5 passwords. We can really do anything. We'll probably do out of 5 Iron Giants for
Avatars.
this one. 5 avatars, however you want to look at it. We will give our rating, and then we will end up shop. Housekeeping here before we start. Number 1, you want to help support us, patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. That link can be found in the description. Number 2, you want an MVP t-shirt. That can also be found down below in the description as well. At mostvaluablepodcast.com, that's where you find everything for MVP each and every day. And last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes, you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure to go ahead and give us a 5-star rating. But Johnny, let's jump right in. Ready Player One. What are your just initial thoughts of it? What are your initial thoughts now that we've seen the movie and it's fresh in our brains?
To start, nostalgia up the wazoo.
Now, that's the thing about this. It had a lot of nostalgia.
Yes.
But I thought this was going to be a lot more of, hey, remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this.
It wasn't, though.
It
was nice, though.
Like, enough of it to where I'm like, oh, wait, get out of here. There's a story I'm watching. It wasn't that, though.
No, it wasn't. There
were sometimes the scenes went by so quick that I was feeling like I'm not getting all the Easter eggs that they're hiding for me. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting all the references because the camera pans a little bit too quickly.
See, I like the fact that they didn't, like, cram it in your face, all of these. Instead,
hey, you like this?
Hey, look, I put this out here, and I got this one, too. It's like that guy that has to show you his whole collection and jams them right in your face. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's not that.
No, it wasn't that
like,
at all.
Hey, look at all these cool things.
Except for, and I don't know, this is a spoiler because he's in the trailer, except for the Iron Giant.
Yes.
That one they shove in your face.
They're
like,
bit.
Hey, remember, for like guys like us, hey, remember that? Remember that movie you watched when you were
want
like
me to cry
7?
again?
Remember when you watched that when you were like 7 years old?
Oh my God, I do.
I think that came out when I'm gonna look it up. I think that came out.
No, but I liked how like it wasn't all in your face.
Oh, I'm sorry, 9. We were 9,
Oh, wow,
8, 9.
Anyways, yeah, big difference. I like how it wasn't all just in your face, crammed there. Like, oh yeah, no, hey, look at this one. Hey, look at this one. Or look at me.
Yeah, Mr. Meeseeks, look at me.
It wasn't in your face like that. It was a very nice tone of, hey, remember this? And it's all in the background, like the DeLorean, which you get to see in the trailer. I'm trying to go with ones we saw in the trailer. The Iron Giant, like you mentioned. The Gundam. All the things that you've seen in the trailer. I'm trying not to spoil any that weren't. Yeah. But yeah, so Street Fighter.
Chucky was also in the trailer as well. One of the best things I liked about it, and if you guys listened to the Rick and Johnny podcast before, one of my big worries for this movie was Valerian. We're basically riveting, like, part of it was Valerian. Either it's going to be visually amazing and not have a good story, or the flip side, and this was more of my worry, is that when we were, because the whole thing, because we're in the Oasis and we're in this virtual reality world, my thought was that the visual effects would be too much. Like, that was my worry, to where it's like, oh, you know, I can tell we're in this universe and it's different than the real world. But no, I didn't get. After watching it, it seemed seamless. Like the visual effects didn't like. It wasn't an eyesore. Is basically what I'm saying. And the thing that I liked most about this movie is basically like the guy who played Wade Watts, who the actor's name is Ty Sheridan.
Yeah.
Basically, like him, yeah, he's playing Wade in the real world, but let's be honest, for most of this movie, he's voice acting as Percival.
Which is cool. Honestly, a lot of this is a lot of people voice acting too, which is a cool like flip on that.
Did you know he was Cyclops in X-Men Apocalypse?
Yes.
I did not recognize him. Yeah, I did not recognize him as that. I was sitting there during the movie like, I've seen him in something. I know I have. And I didn't put two and two together until I just
looked the Marvel fan, buddy.
At his Wikipedia page. But no, that was probably one of the best things about this movie, of just the, hey, you know what? Yeah, you're acting, but you're pretty much voice acting as well.
Yeah, most of the movie, they're voice acting.
And really the way the characters interacted, like the best thing I liked about it, and I don't think this is a spoiler, that's why I'm going to keep it in this area, is they weren't afraid to reference some things that you would think about. Like there was... I'm going to save that for spoiler.
Yeah, I would wait. That way,
but safe. Basically, just the whole thing of, hey, I'm an avatar. You don't know who I am.
Yeah.
You don't know either what I look like. You don't know where, because they say it at the beginning. Oh, you can be anyone. You can be a different gender. You can look the way you want.
You can be taller. You can be more beautiful. You can be whatever.
You can basically do whatever you want in the Oasis. But anything you want to mention before we move on into spoiler mode?
No, I think there's too much spoiler stuff when it comes after that to hit anything else.
What about before we jump in?
Yeah.
Story, because to me one of my biggest concerns about this movie that I'll say before spoiler mode is the pacing. Like the story wasn't bad, the pacing was just early on. It was a little bit quicker. And then by the end, towards the middle end, I felt like it was at a snail's pace. That might be a little bit too far. But it was slow to where I remember saying to you, halfway through the movie, I had to fight the urge to grab my phone and see how much longer the movie had.
Well, my thing with that is, I think we all know at this point, I'm sorry if this is already a spoiler, there's 3 keys.
Yeah.
I think that was already done in the trailers. It's like any video game. If there's 3 of something, which one's always the hardest to get? The last one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one is going to drag out, it kind of made sense.
No, I'm just talking.
So I honestly was fine with the pace of it.
I'm talking about in general.
I know,
like
and that's what I'm saying.
From the middle on, even like before they got that.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm kind of referencing gaming wise to that is. Any set of 3, the third one's always the hardest to get, though that's the one that takes longest to get to.
Yeah.
That would be why I'm referencing it that way.
Well, we're going to go into spoiler mode. If you have not seen Ready Player One, you want to see Ready Player One, like I say all the time, I'll sit here as long as you want. Just hit that pause button.
Ricky never leaves.
Sit here. No, I don't leave the studio. No. I never have to eat, which is miraculous, too.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because usually you have to eat to survive, but they'll hit pause and I'll still be here with you.
Ricky feeds on views.
Yes, I feed off of views. That's how I get my nourishment. But if you guys have seen the movie, you guys can go right on through. But Johnny, let's jump right into spoiler mode.
Spoiler.
The spoilers. We spoiling the shit out of this movie. Where do you want to start? You want to start at the beginning or you just want to jump around?
Let's start in the beginning and we'll see what happens.
What did you think of? So the thing that I kind of liked about this movie,
kind of.
You know how movies usually have like the prelude thing where it's like they set everything up and then you finally get the trailer, like the Ready Player One, the title shot.
Yeah.
This one seemed kind of long to where it's like, I didn't think they were going to do that. Then it was like, oh, they are doing that, and they did that. I felt like it wasn't too long to where I was like, I was surprised by it, but it wasn't like oh my God, why did you do that? It was like, oh, okay, that was kind of cool that you kind of merged the setting up the world with almost getting me into the movie before you gave me the title.
Yeah, no, that was cool because it's it was like just long enough to where like you weren't going, oh, okay, I guess we're just into the movie.
Yeah,
and it wasn't wasn't too long. Anyways, it was the right place where it wasn't like, oh, so we're already into the movie, where it's like, wow, that was abrupt. I mean, it was abrupt.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, that fit in really well.
What did you think of the world of the Oasis in general? Because I think it was one of the strongest things about this movie.
That was really cool, really visually awesome looking, honestly.
Because some of the things that, I mean, a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
A lot of this movie takes place in the Oasis. Like,
yes.
Which makes sense. I mean, you're going to have this visual effects.
Ready Player One.
You're going to put us in that world. I don't want to be in the real world. That's the whole reason why I'm going to see it. But one of the things with this movie, one of the overlying themes is kind of with people in the Oasis, they go in to escape their normal lives.
Yes.
Like at the beginning, we see there's a guy playing it. There's lady boxing.
An old lady boxing.
There's another old lady on a stripper pole that was kind of like, all right, okay. There was a little girl playing piano while her dad
There was a guy surfing.
There was a guy surfing. There was also, I'm trying to think of.
There's also a drone delivering Pizza Hut.
There was a drone delivering Pizza Hut.
I'm sorry, I had to point that out because I thought that was funny and kind of cool.
And the thing that like it kind of goes into is, do people spend their too much time in the Oasis? Like, for example, we saw I played with your headphones.
Yeah,
that's why you were. I saw the look on your face. I was like, oh wait, that's his, not mine.
Yeah, play with your own.
Playing with. But like the one scene, this was a little bit more elaborated, but where the mom was like, "Hey, mom," she's like, "Go bug your dad," and she gets knocked off.
Killed, yeah.
The couch and gets killed.
You get zeroed out, is what they called it. Is where you start from zero again.
Yeah, and basically, I like how they did that too, to where it's like, hey, if you die in there, you're not dead. However,
you lose everything.
You lose everything. You got to start all the way from zero.
Yeah.
The only thing, and this wasn't something that like I was trying to like, oh, this is interesting how they did that, but with the Oasis. How does it know, like, if I jump, how does it know I'm only jumping an inch compared to 20 feet? And also, I don't get the physics around it to where it's like, hey, you know what? I get shot in the game, and it literally has the force to knock me back.
Well, that didn't happen until they had they have this thing you walked upon, the trackpad-ish type thing. And the other part of it, that's where it gets the how far you jump.
I'm going to say no to that only because when the mom was on the couch, didn't have the trackpad. When she got shot, she got knocked back off the couch.
Let's put it this way. Have you ever played with a VR headset?
Have I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me, like, when something comes at you, you don't jump back physically.
Yeah, I jump back, but I don't, like, fall over like the force is just
If you're really into it, you're going to fall over and stuff like that. That's the thing, because it's visually disorienting you into that world, whereas you feel like it's actually going to happen to you.
That was one thing that I don't know if I was, it wasn't like a, hey, I'm not buying this, but it was definitely a, hey, you know what, my one question with the whole VR thing, one of the things I love the most about this, the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Like,
oh God,
the whole thing of them finding out the history with Holiday was basically reminding me of games that I have played where it's like, hey, you know what? I have to find these Easter eggs. I got to go ahead and find every little bit of information to find these special things in games, like how they had to go to his archives and get information on his past love. Oh, she was the key. Oh, wait, she wasn't really the key. This was the key.
The situation was the key, not her specifically.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I loved how they did that, how it was like very much gaming in general and just everything that went into that as well.
So, I mean, there's Easter eggs for gaming. There's Easter eggs for pop culture. It was awesome in all those aspects. And I really liked how they played off with. I know you said you don't just a few minutes ago, but I do like how they played all that stuff off because it even made more sense with like the full body suit. But for jumping, I get it with the I forgot how they described it. It was the
trackpad.
The trackpad that you run on that can go in any direction, which that part's confusing a little bit how that would actually even work. But getting past that, it can sense how you're jumping. And yeah, the mom falling is kind of an extreme. But like if you've gotten into a video game, let's just put in the aspects of you and I for video games.
Yeah.
You lean forward even more so when you get more and more into it. Am I correct?
For me, I'm usually I sit up. It's usually I'm sitting back.
And then you sit up.
Like I sit up straight.
But you change your posture when you get more and more into the game, am I correct?
Yeah.
Into what, like your into it mode. Well, let's just imagine that amplified by like at least 10. You have this visual goggle on. You're literally in that world. And in that situation, she climbed up onto the couch.
Yeah.
Well.
And even the kid was like pulling on her.
Yeah, exactly. So you get shot. That's gonna like you feel like visually you got shot, so you will fall back, which is why she fell off the couch.
What? Give me something you didn't like.
Something I didn't like,
because for me, the thing I absolutely didn't like, and I get the whole like story behind it. I hated how much of an idiot Wade was. Yeah. Oh, my name's Wade. What the fuck are you doing? Don't say your name. Like. Part of me was like, in my head, I'm thinking,
but he's in love.
Are you that much of a freaking idiot? You are now the most, like, you get the key. You're now top of the leaderboard. Everyone knows your name. You were walking into this club. Everyone wanted to take pictures of you. And you're going to say your real name? Your real name? Like, part of me is like, really, like, part of me was like, are you really that stupid? Like, are you really that stupid to that character? I was really like mom mode at that point. He
was in love, goddammit.
Did you buy it though? Like I bought the love, but it's like, really? You're that stupid to do that?
Yeah, apparently he is.
That was one thing that I was kind of
It also drove the plot a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I get it. Like, it helped edge things along.
It helped to give them a way to find out who the hell he was.
Exactly.
Because if you go by the first name Wade and then
I get that part of it. But in the whole story of it, like as a character, I was like, really, you're that stupid? You're that stupid, Wade?
He's smart in other ways, Ricky, like knowing everything about what's his name.
Holiday.
Holiday, yes.
What was one part you didn't like?
One part in this movie?
There had to be something.
There is, because it's not a 5.
Yeah,
obviously.
Exactly. Like you even said after we saw it, you're like, well, it's not a 5.
I mean, I agree with you. It was a little bit slow in some of those paces. Honestly, and this is gonna play into later on. I am having and did have a really hard time picking an MVP.
Oh, I did too. This cast, nobody.
I'm sorry, there was not really much
stood up.
No, they didn't stand up. But also, I didn't get a ton of character development from much of anyone.
The character. Ooh, that's a good point that I didn't think of.
That's what I always go on.
Probably the most development we probably got was Wade.
Yeah,
but he's the main character.
And yeah, so I like I said, we didn't have really much, and that's one of the main things I look for when I'm picking my MVP. Who developed the most, and who got me most engrossed in their character, and no one really got me that engrossed in their character.
True, because you think about it, Simon Pegg, who you did peg that right.
I did.
No pun intended. Was from the guy from
Ogden
Shaun
Morrow,
of the Dead. Yeah. And Hot Fuzz.
Yep.
But I mean,
basically any of those team movies. Yeah. There's T.J. Miller in there.
You had, so just to go through a few, you had Simon Pegg was in the beginning, was in some of the memories with Holiday.
Yeah.
And then in the ending. Didn't get enough of them. With Daito and Shao.
Support characters.
We knew them in the game, but we didn't actually meet their character until the very end of the game of who their real life people were. You had Holiday, which I guess you can say the most development was him, only because we're diving into Holiday's head and what he is kind of thinking. But then there's also like Helen's character, or H. That whole character probably had some of the best development along with Wade, but really it was either her, Olivia Cook, who was Artemis, or Ty, who was Wade. Those were probably the only ones that had the most character development.
Yeah.
But really, like, the character I really liked, and this will probably spoil things, but I don't care, was T.J. Miller's character, IROC. Where it was basically that comic relief character, but it was one of those characters to where I'm like, I really like this character. I really like what they're doing with it. And the thing, I'll ask you this, was the villain too soft in this one? Not soft as like, obviously he was ruthless for wanting to blow himself and everyone up.
Yeah.
So that everyone starts from zero. But soft as a way of like, I've got cronies to do what I do. I've got this girl to kill him in real life. I got IROC to kill him in the game. I don't have to, like, he didn't seem like that. If you're going to go mob boss level on us, at least seemed like a mob boss. He kind of seemed like a poser to me.
He was a poser.
He was. Yeah. But, like, it was one of those things where it's like, I was never scared of him. Even at the end when he was like, give me that, and he takes the gun, I'm like, you're not going to do anything.
No, because he's just a glorified douchebag.
Yeah, and he's a pussy. Let's
that
be
too.
honest.
He's
like,
a pussy.
I mean, that to me was like...
Well, I mean, you got hints of that in the movie where he's talking to one of his lower people, and he goes, or she actually says, you let me do my job,
and I'll let you do yours.
Unless you want to man up and shoot someone. And like holds the gun up in front of him.
And then he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't take it. It's like, get it done.
Yeah. And that's basically what he does with that. But I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't a villain that I was like, oh, you know, I'm really engrossed in this villain.
No.
It was, and really like the character development side with it, the only thing that developed his character to me was I guess he was an intern for Holiday.
Yeah. Well, that and the how much of a douchebag he is, where he had the people in his ear telling him what to say.
So that he seemed cool.
Yeah, he's like,
person,
oh, no, I like to sit back with crack open a tab, listen to some Duran Duran while playing. I forgot what game it was.
I forgot it was.
Hey, I got 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah. But I don't even know if I've never drank a tab.
I've never drank a tab either. I think it was gone before.
Thing, right?
Yeah, I think that was gone before you and I were old enough to have one.
Tab was an 80s thing, right?
I'm pretty sure
I'm going to look that up.
I don't know. Tab might still be around. I don't know.
Tab was introduced in the 60s.
Oh, shit.
That's what it was.
Yeah, but anyways, no, and it can show how much of a douchebag because
in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah. Wade calls him out on it and just goes, you're a fucking liar.
Yeah. You're lying.
You're a poser.
It's exactly what you are.
Yeah. I know you're not into this stuff. You're not into the pop culture. Why don't you? And then he's like, why don't you get those people out of your ear and tell you that you're bored on the other side?
Yeah.
I'll make this deal with you when you're out.
Yeah. When they get rid of you. And I mean, the thing that another thing, of course it was to use as a plot device later on.
Yeah.
But another thing on the boss side of, are you really that stupid? Of I'm just going to have my password sitting here.
Well, actually, I like that part because
I'm not saying it's not a Wade Watts level of like really
stupid, but
it's like, I see what you're doing here. Like without that, they're not able to trick them. The whole plot device there. Yeah. So part of me is like, I see what you're doing there. I see it. Like I'll wink, wink. I'll buy what you're selling me, but I know what you're doing.
No, I completely understood what they were going with because it's like that that person that's very horrible with computers leaves like that sticky note underneath their desk, their laptop, saying what their password is to get in. It's like, you weren't trying very hard, were you? You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you?
Back in the day, like I would have, oh man, I had a computer teacher back when we were in school, where it'd be the Post-it note under, like, because we had the desktop, we didn't have laptops.
Yeah,
back then.
Under the keyboard.
Under the keyboard, and they would stick it to. The best is when they would stick it to the table. So it's like all I have to do is move it and find it. At least stick it to the bottom of the keyboard.
Yeah.
So if I move the keyboard, it moves with it.
Yeah. Like you tape it to the bottom of the keyboard and the students can't find it. No, I remember more than one occasion seeing that. It's like the password's right there.
Yeah.
I can just literally take it right now.
You know what I did like?
But that's what I liked about it.
You know what's one thing I did like maybe the last one was a whole final battle, but like
that was cool
each
too.
sequence to get the key and how it reminded me of like the first one was obviously racing games.
Yeah.
And I love the thing of like, oh, he's driving backwards and he's driving under everything.
Yeah, he's driving like in the code of everything.
Yeah, and that was cool to like see everything, and he would like see it go up and then come back down. The Shining.
That was
I've never
cool.
seen The Shining, man.
Is it really scary? I have to watch it with my fingers in front of my eyes.
I'll be honest. When the axe came through the door, I jumped. I was waiting for it, but I still jumped.
There's no zombies in The Shining.
Yeah, but he mixed it with one of his favorite games. Is that what he did?
Either his favorite games or another game coding he wrote for another planet or something.
That's right.
Something like that. I forgot what exactly it was.
And then the last one, I love the like all the people that IOI were like, yeah, we're gonna pay these holiday researchers to do it. Oh, it's not this game. It's not this game. It's not this game. Well, you're not trying to beat it. Don't beat it.
Yeah.
Go for the Easter egg.
They didn't get that until
Wade got it.
Until Wade like started talking about that.
I got a question for you.
Huh.
What did you think of the whole Extra Life coin thing? Because part of me, a little part of my brain was like, touche movie.
I agree. No.
Where it was like, really? This is what we're gonna. Ooh, that bet I made at the beginning. Good. Thank God I called that guy. That's basically what they did.
That's what it was.
They basically Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Thank God I called that guy.
No, but I kudos to the movie for doing that, because honestly, it blew up. You probably along with me thought, well, what the fuck is gonna happen now?
Which really, if you think about it, this is what's going on in my head. Technically, he should have never got that coin. Should have never got that Extra Life coin. Because the bet that he made with the curator was all of his coins. So really, if the curator got it wrong, he should have just credited him for the amount of coins that he had. So he should have just doubled his total coins.
Maybe that was the only coin.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
But what I am thinking in my head, because they kind of reference it at the end, and Morrow kind of goes the whole like, oh, I didn't know. Bullshit. Yeah, you did kind of know. I think Morrow was the one that flipped him. Instead of doing what the bet would have been technically, flipped him that Extra Life coin because he knew that he's going to need this down the line, because he didn't want Holiday's Oasis to be in IOI's hand.
See, my thought on that is more so, you know what? Maybe that's the only coin.
Oh, by the way, Morrow's the curator.
Yeah.
Spoiler. In spoiler
Well,
zone.
we're in spoiler zone, so. What I was going to say
What do you think of that? Morrow being the curator.
That was a nice twist at the end there.
Because he did a different voice for it, too.
Yeah, because he wasn't Simon Pegging. He was like proper British
You made
sound.
the best observation about that.
Huh.
What shitty job is that where I have to go into the Oasis and basically relive my dead friend's awful memories?
After being asked to go over every one of my dead friends' memories, and the guy that pushed me out, too.
To be honest, is Holiday really dead? Because at the end, Wade asks him, well, what are you? And he just smiles and goes, goodbye, Wade. And then walks through the door. Yeah. And then just walks through the door. Here's what I think, theory-wise. Holiday's not dead. He found a way to put his consciousness into the Oasis, and he is now living through code.
Could be. There's other movies like that. I'm not going to argue on that one. That's
especially where he goes, yeah, that's early me. I like to keep him around.
That was weird.
I like to keep him around.
It's like, it reminded me of the Council of Ricks.
Yes.
Doofus
Rick.
No, you have no rights. You our lawyer's a Morty. We keep him around because he's fun.
Yeah. And then he just starts dancing.
Oh, look at him go.
But that whole scene was kind of cool too.
That was really cool.
Right as like it ends, the kid beats the game, gets up.
Try not to press it on your first day.
Yeah, try not to accidentally delete the Oasis on your first day. My question: why have a button like that big? Why not have it small on the desk?
So why not have like a case over it?
Exactly, because the van almost shook and he almost deleted the entire Oasis.
Yep.
What did you think of the end? Where they said I liked it because it's kind of the disassociation from real life to reality of it wasn't a popular opinion, but we closed the Oasis on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I like it. I like that ending.
So Wade and Artemis could basically get it on.
Yeah.
That's basically, that was what they were doing.
Yeah.
They made out for the cameras.
Yeah. But there's more going on behind the scenes. No, but that's nice because it's like brings back the reminder of, you know what? No, you need to start being back in the real world.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that was kind of the overlapping theme of, hey, you know
what? There's shit that goes on in the real world. You need to get out there again.
Exactly.
Don't be like Holiday.
Because everyone was living inside
the Oasis.
No
one was getting out.
It kind of created a world of like raw poverty too.
Yeah, it did. Because only the big companies have any money in anything.
You killed my mom's sister.
Yeah, really, the disassociation with that. Not even my aunt.
You killed my
mom's sister.
Speaking of that, though, Rick was an ass. Of course his name was Rick. Like, as soon as they were like, Rick, I was like, of course his name's Rick.
Yeah.
But, dude, that guy I hated that guy.
He was a fucking ass. He was a poser, and he was a piece of shit of a human.
I lost because of your gloves. Well, how much money did you put into it? Everything. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
That Rick, yeah.
Rick. The mom's sister's boyfriend. I'm going to disassociate it even more.
Thanks for the suit.
And then he dies.
You got what you coming, Rick.
Yeah.
You got what's coming to you.
Yeah, that was probably, I hated to see the aunt go. I loved watching him go.
Yeah.
I loved watching
Picks up her headset. Don't call here again.
Which is like, what, you're kicking him out basically at that point?
Yeah, right?
It's okay. I'm kicking you out of this life. World. Oh, bam, 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 bam. The ham horns going on.
Yeah.
At that point. Anything you think we haven't touched that we need to?
No, I think we hit everything basically.
Did we get all the nostalgia out? There, Hello Kitty, Battletoads.
Honestly, go see it. There's way too much nostalgia just to state.
You know what was one of the best scenes in this? Where Mortal Kombat comes up, drags him off, and then Alien
out of his chest,
and then she's got peels
like, the suit off.
She's like, really, you don't like that? I also like the part where it's in the trailers, but she zaps his hair and goes, "Catch you later, McFly." Question for you. This is off the cuffs. You're in that race.
Okay.
Would you go big four-wheeler like H had, DeLorean or car like Wade had, or motorcycle like Artemis? I think I would go motorcycle.
I'm definitely gonna put out that I would not go the four-wheeler like H. I'm not. It's a tie between the motorcycle and the DeLorean because that was really fucking cool when he's like going, like you see all these cars hitting the truck.
Yeah.
And he does the four wheels pop sideways to be the hovercraft, go underneath the truck and then go back to a car. That was really cool.
I also I just think the motorcycle would have the most mobility.
That's true.
Could slide under it, could fit through skinnier areas.
But hey, that wasn't the point of it, was it now?
No, it wasn't. He grabbed her and Kong would have killed her.
Yeah. She was started back from zero.
No one gets past Kong.
Nope.
No one.
Not unless you go underneath them.
That was another, this one had a lot of themes in it. Like the not wanting, early on, the not wanting to risk everything. Because the Artemis had oh, my dad was in a loyalty center, which we didn't even talk about those.
That's true.
The whole concept of, hey, I bought your debt. You're now going to work for us until you basically die.
Yeah, because you're not going to be
never
going to
repay the debt because the interest keeps you there.
Yeah.
Where that was
the interest, the housing, the food.
Part of me was like, holy crap, that kind of hit. Her dad died in one of those. She had the kind of redemption arc there.
Yeah.
And then just the nostalgia in general. Hello Kitty, Battletoads were in it. Tracer popped up at the beginning. You actually heard the of Tracer coming in. And I also like the kind of.
There was Street Fighter.
There was Street Fighter.
There was the
Chucky.
Jurassic Park.
The Gundam was the best part, where he's out of the plane. He goes, Gundam. And I was like, yeah! I was like, we just saw Pac Rim. Now we're getting to see a Gundam.
I'm going to now change into the Gundam.
Oh, man. That Mecha Godzilla, did you expect to see him?
No, I did not.
Did you expect to see Mecha?
Did not.
At first, you thought it was Green Ranger.
I did.
Because you're like, he is not the Green Ranger. I'm like, no, it's Mecha Godzilla.
Well, at first, I didn't hear what he said. And I just saw like this robot that sort of looked like the Green Ranger until it was finished. So starting to build up. It's like, what?
Well, anything you think we need to go over before we go into show stealers?
No, I think we hit everything we can.
Let's go on then into our show stealers and our ratings.
Yes.
Yet again, if you guys are new watching all the way through, I hope you guys have liked your first Rick and Johnny movie review. We give a show stealer MVP for Ready Player One. Johnny, I'm going to let you go first. Who's your show stealer?
I have to go first again. Again, I talked about this in the spoiler.
We'll let Dave go first. Hey, Dave, who's your show stealer? Sorry, I'm waiting for Dave's answer.
My watch is broken, so
you don't have a watch. Okay, Dave's not going to get back to us.
Anyways.
He doesn't get to go first. Who's your show stealer?
Again, I harped on this not harped, but I did mention this in the spoiler mode. There was not a ton of character development, which is the one thing I most.
Part of me after the movie was like, do I have to give it to somebody? That was a thought I had.
Yeah, that's
the first ever no show stealer for a Rick and Johnny podcast.
I'm going to give it to someone because we always give one to a show stealer. We have to. And my one thought is, well, my main thing I always look at is who develops the most in the movie, followed by who captures me. No one did that. No one did that second job. No one. So the first one I have to go with who developed the most and was by far not much. So I'm going to go with Wade Percival, played by Ty Sheridan.
Okay.
He, out of all the characters,
go with Cyclops.
Yes, exactly. On all the characters, he did have the most character development. Again, to me, not much. Maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah.
Someone called me out on that, sure, but that's who I'm giving it to because there was the most character development.
Mine's easy. Ricky, let's see, Black Panther, Tomb Raider. Actually, now this makes 3 of our, 7 movies that we've seen that I've given it to a villain.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was in this. I got to give it to TJ Miller. When I heard his voice for I-Rock, I was like, what? Like TJ Miller's in this?
Yeah, right?
I was like, holy crap, I know that voice. I nudged
the second he said it, I knew that voice.
I was like, TJ Miller. He was in the Deadpool previews that we had just seen.
Yeah.
No, he was the one that made me laugh the most. He made me laugh the most, and he was the best character out of them. Like, for this movie, I feel bad because it's kind of like I'm picking the... I don't want to use that analogy, but I kind of want to say I'm picking the most shiniest turd. But, like, it's only because I don't think anyone stood up enough.
No.
But if I have to give it to someone, it would be TJ Miller, just for the character, and he was really funny, and I loved it. How about your rating? We're going to give it out of 5 Iron Giants. What's your rating for Ready Player One?
3.5 out of 5 Iron Giants. Again, like
wasn't good, wasn't great.
No,
it wasn't bad, wasn't great, is what I meant to say.
Yeah, what I would wasn't good, wasn't great. It's like that sounds like bad, Ricky.
It's a 0 out of 5, worse than The Mummy. It was worse than The Mummy, folks. I tell you.
What I would say is that if someone asked me to go see it again with them, sure, I'll go see it.
You have to. Like, this is one to get all the references.
Yeah.
You have to go see it again.
Yeah. I would go see it with someone again, but I mean, would I go see it because I want to go see it again? No, not really.
No, you'll wait for it to be on Netflix or something.
Netflix or even Redbox. I'll pay $1 for it. That's fine.
HBO, Showtime, whatever one.
You're starting to get realms of shit I don't have.
Yeah, but I mean... When it gets onto one of those, that's when probably I'll check it out.
It's not
again.
something like someone says, "Hey, you want to go see it?" Like, nah. It's like, okay, that's fine. We'll go see it again.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. 3.5 out of 5. I mean, I'm sitting here going. I mean, really comparing it to also other movies that we've seen.
Yeah.
To where like 2.5 is my barometer for Tomb Raider, and I was like, you know what? It wasn't Tomb Raider level.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Black Panther, Game Night, Death Wish, Pacific Rim. I came out of those movies with a different
4s
feeling.
and 5s, yeah.
Yeah, where this one, I was like very Wasn't middle of the road, wasn't great, wasn't average. It was all right.
Slightly above
it was
average.
Good.
It was a C plus over a C.
And it wasn't like really the thing that would have jumped it into being a 4 or possibly a 5. Character development.
Yeah.
A quicker, like not quicker, but like a better paced out story. That wasn't so, let me jam all this information at you at the beginning, and then I'm just going to hit the brakes and slow everything down before trying to ramp up at the end. But by that point, I'm already wondering how much is left in this movie to where when I've gotten to that point, you've lost me. So 3.5, it's a good movie. Should you go see it? Yeah, I'd say go see it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you just don't like game culture.
If you don't like any pop culture.
Yeah, then I wouldn't go see it. But it's a good movie. You'll have fun with it.
If you're a Sorrento, don't go see it.
Yeah, if you're a Sorrento, don't go see it. But any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, honestly, I do recommend people go see it, if not for the movie itself, for all the nostalgia of pop culture and everything. Yeah, that was a pretty good movie. Not great, but...
Well, our next review, we will have one next week. Next week's kind of a low-key week.
Yes.
Well, it's like a game night week. Yeah, it's like a game night week. We're seeing the comedy Blockers with John Cena.
Yep.
John Cena. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Also, news about him, he's going to be Duke Nukem. I heard that this week.
Yeah.
Not enough for a topic, but I did want to throw that in there. If there's any movie in the future you want us to review, leave it down below in the comment section. Housekeeping here at the end. You want to support us, make sure we can keep doing what we're doing. Make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. T-shirts, that store link is down below in the description. Mostvaluablepodcast.com is where you catch everything for MVP. Last but not least, if you're on Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts or iTunes, go give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating. Want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, have a good day, everybody.